from the UK, all the way from the UK. So there's a lot of denial of colonial oppression in the UK, I'm assuming. How important is the practice of forgiveness by a POC to nurture compassion toward my oppressor while holding on to my lived experience as valuable and being visible?
Yeah. There is a place, obviously, for the whole range of human dynamics, including the dynamics around forgiveness. But just notice where that question's coming from. You know, it's a lot to want to jump to forgiveness too quickly, but there's I get it. It's a lot to want to say. Let's make sure we're talking about forgiveness when there has been so much silence about the wounding. So yes, there is a dynamic, and there are practices that support forgiveness, and I engage in them. In fact, I think in a certain way, it's all about forgiveness, right? So forgiveness as the I'm going to say what do we mean when we say forgiveness is a real question. Forgiveness as the ability and capacity to see that all of us are works in progress. All of us have been delivered over into a world that we didn't create, into bodies we didn't create, into a time we didn't create, on and on and on, right? So we're sort of existentially challenged. And that's why I think humility actually is kind of really, really important, because some of us have been thrown into places and spaces where we get to learn and know something about all of this. And not only bodies of some color, if you will, not only, Black bodies and Asian heritage, or, Latinx bodies, right? Wherever we are, we may or may not have been privileged to learn in our communities about even our own heritage experiences, much less other people's. So we've built up many different worlds about that are good at domination and white supremacy, and not great at liberation and building multicultural um, communities of awe-based engagement with each other's beautiful, magnificent humanity. We haven't created a lot of spaces like that, so a lot of the communities around us don't have it, and a lot of people don't know how to experience it, don't know how to be vulnerable, which is a big part of all of this. What is white supremacy and white privilege if it's not a training in like how other people should be vulnerable and not you? Right? What is dominator culture generally? If not, it's a bunch of trainings around vulnerabilities for somebody else. But these practices are about, wait, wow, I'm going to open up to, I don't know. That's a space of vulnerability. I'm going to open up to how I might be needing to learn something from somebody else's space, somebody else's experience. I'm going to open up to um, letting somebody else tell me whether and to what extent they're ready for forgiveness or not. And if they're not, having the humility to say, I don't get to tell you when, how you need to show up to make me feel okay. Um, so yes, I think of forgiveness as an aspect. Forgiveness is I think of it in many different ways, but I guess what I want to keep coming back to is mindfulness as that opportunity to notice when we're getting stuck and let go. So we can be revivifying the wound. And I'm saying that as, and I don't want to say this lightly, I'm just naming that while we want to invite reflection on how wounding can happen in our multicultural spaces in ways that are not obvious, and we need to be aware of that. At the same time, part of our teaching is about recognizing when we're bringing that second arrow in, the replaying of the wound in a way that's not about illuminating patterns that we need to disrupt, but it's about like, really just holding on to the pain of it, and like maybe twisting that arrow of the wound a little bit more. And only we as individuals maybe can know, are we just naming something to illuminate, Or are we trying to like add that extra energy of, righteous, now you suffer because I have suffered? I'm not trying to do that. But the distinction is subtle. And so, yeah, we're over time. We got to stop. I guess what I want to say is we need to close right here, right now, in a way that we realize we're never really closing. All we're doing is continuing to unpeel the onion. And can we do that with love, starting with ourselves? Can we create spaces where we do that? So I just want to pause really briefly and invite a moment of centering and honoring the time that we've shared here together. Taking a full, deep breath in, feeling, again, supportive love for whatever is coming up for us. It might be hard, but know that the ultimate gift of this practice and of your life is always unfolding. And there is original medicine that your experience alone is meant to bring. And I'm here as a supportive member of your community to learn from you in that. So let us pause and feel the support of this community, of our practices, and identify perhaps one way in which we want to go forward, strengthened by this moment we've spent together, this short moment in the grand scheme of things that we spent together. And may you be well and safe, resourced and connected, always reconnected to the source of your life and to each other's goodness as we do this work together. I thank you very much for being here with me today.